Hello. Everybody keeps saying, oh, why are these two countries the most similar? And there are people who do ask the question, uh, what are the most, what are the two countries or nations that are the most different from each other? And that is the question I'm trying to ask myself in this video. Okay? Like, what I mean the two most different ones, nation or countries, I well, I guess it would depend on your definition of nation and country. I'm talking in terms of basically anything that there can be like a major difference. Um, that's what I'm talking about. In terms of history, geography, racial and ethnic groups, languages, disabled and non-disabled, um, you know, sexuality, stuff like that. Religion, spirituality, food, the way they dress, the way they act, the sizes of the nations. That's another geography part. Um, you know, their history, which one is the youngest, which one is the youngest, that kind of thing also. Which one are the two ones that are the most different? In every single way they can be different. Not just in those categories, but also in sports and in politics and in basically anything that can have a difference be different. And it's the most extreme difference possible. What are the two most countries and nations that are that are that different for the world, that kind of thing? I don't have an answer to that. You might be looking, oh, you could have just gave me the answer right now. Yeah, but I really don't know. I wish I could say that I knew the answer to this because, it's a common question, but it's a common question without a real answer because people like to people always like to say, hey, what are the two most similar countries? And I get it because, like, it's, what are the two most countries that are the most united to show the world, hey, you can be like these two countries? Okay, what are the two most divided ones? What are the two most, like, different ones that are completely different in every single way? Every single way you can make a difference. That you can be different compared to other nation or another country, and or another country. Like, I'm gonna be honest, people say country more than they say nation, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about that information? I don't know. But I don't really have the answer to this because people, like, now they don't really want to go, looking for a question. They don't want to go figure out a question. They just want an automatic answer because generally they can get it for a lot of things. But the thing is about the automatic answer is it's not always right. It's not always correct. Sometimes it's completely wrong. Or sometimes it is correct, but you refuse to believe that it's correct. So if something goes with what you disagree with, or rage bait, as they call it these days, which is just a really fancy way of saying someone disagreed with me. That's usually how it is with most conversations or debates or arguments or just people who want to talk words, use their mouth in language form words, and they tend not to go very well, But what I'm trying to figure out is, on Earth anyway, what are the two most different nations and countries on the planet? But it can change over time, and if I were to say any nations or countries that I could include to say that they're the most different, the problem is that's always changing, and those nations might not always exist. Will not always exist At one point, they'll vanish and turn into another nation, or they'll turn into a bunch of little nations, or they'll be this way, or that way, or whatever way, you know? Like, it really, really makes you think about, subjects like this. But what do you think? What are your answers, questions, opinions, thoughts, maybe facts? Whatever you think about this. You can put it in the comment section below. You can put it somewhere else. You can make a whole video about it. I don't know what you're going to do about the subject. I don't know how you're going to do about the subject. I don't know where. I don't know when. I don't know why you're interested in this subject. Maybe because I posted a video, which logically does make sense. And, it does get seen on the internet. That kind of thing. But the question remains, which are the two most different? In every way a difference can be, can two nations / countries be different? But that's all I got to say for now. Toodles. Bye.